in. Printing? Not printing. Okay. So under discussions, hopefully you see one called Revit Family / BIM Object Links. And this is where I start to compile a list of free BIM objects that you guys can get in Revit. And so every semester this changes. In the past, we have had some sites get bought out by other sites. We've also had some sites turn into paid sites. And then new ones come up all the time. So this is just kind of a running list. And you might find other websites that work as well too. One thing that I'm going to put on pause for just a bit will be the kitchen portion of it. Last semester we had some students find an excellent website that had a lot of kitchen cabinets. The Revit packages were kind of expensive though. I think it was about $100 a download, but it came with a lot of stuff. And I would like to see if we have the budget maybe in our student fees to grab some of those. So fingers crossed. I haven't even had this discussion yet. We're supposed to actually meet yesterday, and then thank you, Storm, is being pushed off a week. So with interior elevations, we will probably skip the kitchen for now and talk about it a little bit later, but we'll do all of the other rooms. And then if I can't get the packs, we will use the one that I've always used, which isn't on here. I wonder why I took it off, the Miller Ray. Okay, I'll put that link back on here. Let me make sure it's not under announcements. Yeah, okay, I put that one in. I'll put this with the others as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was wondering what that.
Yeah, so it's more Revit links for you guys. So hopefully that gave you guys enough time to log in and get everything open. I'm going to go ahead and start projecting here in just a minute. Just have a feeling that as soon as I show it, someone's going to walk in. Feeling. Oops. Okay. So I'll be hanging out in my courtyard level for now. But let's talk about where we've been. We've been a lot of places. And I'll do a quick overview of where we're going. So believe it or not, we're only about a month into the semester, and we've already gone over about half the content that we're going to be going over in Revit. And of that half that we haven't covered, a few of those things are reviews or more in depth. And so that includes roofs. We're also going to be going over schedules. We're going to be going over lighting plans a little bit more in detail. So a lot of what's remaining is really some annotative stuff. This week we're going to be talking about interior elevations. And there's a couple different ways of approaching it, and we're going to kind of look at the mix of those two things at once already. If you guys take a look at our schedule, let me do this with you. I believe on the 13th already, I am going to start talking about the, excuse me, the final project. Not the final project. Stop, Naima. The midterm. So it's coming up really quick. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about it sooner than later, just so you know what's coming. So on, a week from Thursday, we will officially assign it. But I figured if you knew what was coming, it will help you kind of prepare, because there's going to be a few unique situations in the class. I know that there's at least one person in here who hasn't taken drafting. And then AutoCAD doesn't matter, but the drafting part does help. No, not to put you on the spot, but as the few people that I'm thinking of aren't here right now, will you guys put your hand up if you've taken AutoCAD before? Okay. How many of you guys have at least taken drafting? Okay. Is there anybody in here who hasn't taken drafting or CAD? Okay, good. The reason why I ask is our midterm, once we start it, it will be to take your drafting project, whether it's in CAD format or your hand drafting project that you had, and put it into Revit. So it's going to be really similar to the tiny house that we've worked on, because for most of the projects that I've seen, they are flat roofs. And you don't have to have a flat roof. I've seen people add a pitched roof on it. And we'll be adding another level. So right now, both of the projects that we're working on are single level. So you'll be going up a level. So for going up a level, it also means that we're going to be reviewing stairs too. Now, one of the biggest questions I get is, do we have to do the exact project? And I say no, because you've probably learned a lot since then, and maybe your tastes have changed. So as long as you're working on the same base plan perimeter, like same exterior walls and the 2 levels, I'm okay if you change the program a little bit. And if there's something that you did in your commercial space that you absolutely don't like anymore, you can also update that too. But for me, really what I'm focused on is just the Revit portion of it, right? So just pace yourself. You know, if you're adding a redesign on top of the Revit work, just make sure that you have the allotted time for that, okay? So we will be going, and actually let me pull this up real quick. I think it'll help us all. I'm looking at it here on my tiny screen, but let me pull it up on my larger screen. Okay, so it's hard to believe that we're already in February. I had to check my watch to make sure that was right. But you can see a week from Thursday, I have midterm assigned. And so a week from today, what we'll be talking about is how to import an AutoCAD plan, so that if you wanted to, well, actually, let me think about this. We might wait until the 18th. I take that back. Basically, what I'm going to have you do is from now until even the 13th, since you guys know it's coming, try to start finding your plans, clean up anything you need, and then on Tuesday the 18th, I will teach you guys how to import a CAD base. And you can use your own CAD base plan, or you can use the generic one that I have in case you haven't taken drafting or CAD yet. So I'll have an option for everybody that day. But with that in mind, just start thinking about your plan and if there's anything you want to update. And then essentially we have almost a month just to work on that, and we're going to have most of these in-class days will hopefully be working on your midterm. So the roof, rather than, I do have a generic model that we start with, but it goes really quickly, and then I'd like you to spend the rest of the time doing your roof in class. If you have questions, I'm here. Similar with stairs, I have one kind of generic exercise. The stairs in your drafting project is so simple that it'll take 5 minutes to do it, like if we mess up and have to fix it. So, but then we have 2 other in-class work days that I will describe more in detail as they get closer. Essentially, it will be a peer review on those days, and they're required. And then, believe it or not, we almost hop right into the final project. And what I wanted to do was try to get the final project at least assigned before spring break. It doesn't mean I want you to work on it, but there are some people that just stress out for whatever's going on at the end of this semester. That if you choose to work on it before spring break, that's totally fine. If you want to wait until we get back to, you have that option as well. So, believe it or not, we are at that point where we can really just talk about the rest of the semester. The hope is that after we finish this modern casita in this 2-bedroom in about 2.5 weeks or so, that once you start getting on your midterm, I can pull back a little bit and you guys are working on your own more. But I'm still here to help you a lot and support you a lot with the things that aren't working in Revit. Once we get to the final, then hopefully you'll be even more independent for that last month of class where you're doing the majority of things on your own and just coming with maybe things that we haven't gone over yet. Okay? How do you guys feel about that? Do you see the future laid out in front of you? Okay. All right. So today with interior elevations, I wanted to start with a quick overview on what an interior elevation is. We talked about it a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. Oh my gosh, we go so fast in this class. We talked about it when we went over sections. But interior view is a view of a wall that doesn't include the structure. So if I'm talking about this wall right here in front of me to the south, I basically go from each corner of the wall and show all of that detail. And a lot of times with interior elevations, this is flexible, but typically in architectural plans, you don't show the furniture, so you just kind of push that view right up to the wall. But with interior design, we are hired to do space planning. So it isn't uncommon for us to pull back the view a little bit and show like where the tables and all of the different furniture land. So just so you know, it's about 50-50. Sometimes you will see the furniture on interior elevations if people want to show space planning, and then other times you won't see it at all because they truly just want to show the wall and the finishes. Most of it just has to do with the contract. So we're starting essentially a new sheet today, and I think it's pretty simple. So first I'm going to show you guys how to put an interior elevation tag down. Before I get too far, let me just look at our roundup for today. So we'll be looking at BIM methods, and I'm going to skip ahead. We might get into drafting methods. We'll just see how it goes. We'll be placing interior elevation tags, and we'll learn how to adjust the height of the view and like the length of the view as well. And it'll be important to know how to change the tag family. So a little bit of a review from last week, kind of building on those concepts of editing families. And then finally, just placing the interior elevations you've created onto a sheet. So that'll be a review again. Just know that with your homework, so let me go to that so you guys aren't like, Naima, why are you assigning something we can't do yet? So I like to keep it open just so we all see where we're going. But I just wanted to point out, remember at the beginning of class I said we might get to drafting? So there's going to be a line in here that says space planning and drafting elements placed. Okay? So it's only Tuesday. If we don't get to it today, we'll get to it Thursday. So you won't be able to do all of your homework probably today. That's why you guys get an extra week to do it. All right, so with that, let me hop back in. And to place an interior elevation tag, I want you guys to come to your view menu for me. And I'm in the courtyard level, so I'm in a floor plan. And under elevation, that's where we want to go first. So we're going to click on elevation. And then over in properties, you don't want a square elevation because that's an exterior building elevation. Do you see how it says that in the properties? If you go to your pull down, we've got an interior elevation. Now, although the graphic looks the same here, once we get to our floor plan, do you see that this one's a circle? Okay, so again, I got here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I went to the view menu. I clicked on elevation. I didn't go to the pull down. If you go to the pull down, you can still click on elevation, either way. And then over here in properties, I came to interior elevation. So in your assignments, if you are working on an interior elevation, but you've shown an exterior elevation on your plan, I will mark you down for that. So watch out. Okay. And let's start in our bedroom. So go ahead and just click wherever you want to place that interior elevation. And then just like everything in Revit, it's going to want to place a lot more. So when we're done, we're going to hit escape a couple times to get out of that menu. And it's okay if your arrow is pointing a different way than mine. Let me do this. I'm going to go back to the actual view scale so my screen looks more like yours. Okay. What I want you guys to do, and this is going to take a minute to get used to, but if you click on the arrow, it grabs just the view. Or if you click on the circle, it highlights the whole elevation. So take a look at my cursor. You don't click within the circle, but on the actual line of the circle. And that will select your entire interior elevation or the arrowhead. So those are our two selection methods for now. So again, the one that I want for now is click on the physical line of the circle, and what we're going to do is activate some views. Let's go ahead and turn on all of the elevations for now. And I'm doing that with these little check marks. Do you see these little squares that you can check on or off? That's how you essentially activate or create an interior elevation view. So let's turn all 4 of them on. And then I'm going to go over how to change the elevation tag type. So we're already jumping into advanced stuff, only because, do you guys agree that this is a little bit messy with all of the names there? I wish they would use a different default, and we don't even have dimensions or furniture in here yet. Before I do that, did everybody get an elevation tag okay? Right? So let's try to find that circle again. It's going to be a little bit trickier because see how now that we have all arrows, it wants to grab all of the arrows. If you have any trouble, just make sure that you hit tab and it'll cycle through. So tab will help you grab the circle. And you can see here we've got our interior elevation selected. And based on our last class, where do we go if we want to edit something?
Edit type.
Yeah, edit type. All right, continuing on, the first thing that we have is our elevation tag. Do you see that first line? And if you click in here, do you see that these 3 little dots come up? And that usually means like click on me and I'll show you more, like dot, dot, dot. And right now our elevation mark is set to the elevation mark body circle, which is this right here. This is the body circle. Filled arrow, here's our filled arrow, and view. So this is the name of the view right here. Go ahead and click down on that menu for me. And let's just change it to the detail number. So wait, let's do at the very top. Let's see what that one looks like. Elevation mark, body circle, detail number. So I'm just gonna have to hit OK. And then after you hit OK, we can still stay in this menu and hit apply and see what that does. That's what that will look like. Did your elevation, are they no longer filled, the little arrows?
Yeah.
I kind of like the filled arrow. Let's go back to that menu and see if we can find one similar to this that has a filled arrow with the detail number. I don't want the view name. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it'll work. They've changed the admin. Try Control-Alt-Delete, or down at the bottom, try to right-click on Revit and do Close Window. See if one of those will work for you. Okay. Let's do this one. I think this one will work. Go to Elevation Mark Body, Circle, Filled Arrow. And then Taylor, if that doesn't work, I'll pause so you can restart. The reason why I like this one is I can see that it's waiting to put some sort of information here. Do you guys see that? I'm going to go with this one for now. See how this is familiar from last week when we were editing families? Okay, I'm not throwing furniture, but it sounds like it. So the question that I just asked that I don't know if it got on the recording, why is our interior elevation marker completely blank? And a good example that I can give you is to quickly draw a section. So I'm going to grab one and do create similar. So you can see on this one here, it's doing the same thing. We've created a section. We know the orientation, but because it's not on a sheet yet, it has no references. So my big rule of thumb is when you go to print, make sure that everything is referenced somewhere. Sometimes you might create a section for yourself just to quickly see what's going on in the 3D view, but don't give your client a section interior elevation, don't give them any sort of call out that goes nowhere, okay? So in, I think, is it today? Today we should get to the point where I can show you guys how to kind of hide things instead of just deleting them. So I will, not this week, but starting next week, I will start marking down for empty references. So just make sure that if you have a call out, that it's referenced somewhere. So let's come back to our interior elevation head, and Olivia, just to catch up real quick, take a look at my screen. You can go to View, Elevation, and then over here in Properties, pull down and change it to Interior Elevation. Okay, I'll go through the other part later. For now, you're just going to have a lot of words on it. But with this one, go ahead and click on the head facing north. And when you click on that head, do you see that this line comes up? So this line tells you where you're standing in the room. So if I pull this back, see how now it's probably outside of the room? And in fact, let's test this. So I was waiting to get an interior elevation before I opened more views. So I'm going to double click on that arrow, and now I'm going to tile my windows. Why don't you guys do that same thing? Yeah, Taylor. Is it unhappy again?
Every time I hit edit tab, it freezes.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell ya.
Okay.
I would, it could be two things, so you have to pick which one might work best. It could be the file you're working on or the computer. So if you want, you can jump on a different computer if you wouldn't mind saving for a sec. But I'm going to keep going, and you catch on quickly. And I go slow the first day, so you should be okay. So again, what I want you guys to do, how do I get this line on my screen that's gone? How do I get the line that shows me where my view is? Good. So click on the arrowhead. There's the line. And what I can do now is if I step back in the room, do you guys see that now this is cut? So it's showing me part of the hallway as well. Yep. I want it up here. So I'm going to push it up a little bit again. And you just do a quick test on all of your interior elevations. And maybe on this one, on our south facing, take a look at my screen real quick. I'm going to double click on this one. And now I'm going to be fancy. I'm going to take it and drag it over to the left so that I get all of my elevations on one side. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to move the view down. And see how I'm grabbing this toggle point too? I just want this small portion of the wall. Okay? So you're really in control over where you take your elevation. And then once I have those two, I'm going to go ahead and tile my windows again so that I can see both of my elevations while I'm working.
The file keeps pulling up kind of weird.
What's that?
As I open my file, it looks like this, and I can't get it to
Click on that line.
on this.
No, the square that goes around it, your extents. And then grab the little blue ball and pull it to the right. It's just your extents.
Okay.
Right. So once you've got both elevations in view and your floor plan, meet me in the architecture menu, and we're going to place some furniture today. Furniture is where I lose you guys because there's a ton of furniture that you want, and you go online and you and your friend Google, get lost for hours. So I'm only going to show you what's in Revit for the first thing, and then we'll practice downloading one thing from one of the sites. Okay, once you know how to do it once, all of the others are the same. Okay, Taylor, did I lose you?
Oh, I'm just gonna watch and it's okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
How do I
place it first,
Okay.
and then click on it again on the circle, like the line of the circle.
Close it out.
Now zoom in for me. So I actually have to click on the line of the circle. Yep,
Okay.
and then hit those little check boxes.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so now what we want to do, we haven't done furniture before. So is there a furniture button up here? There's not, right? What we want to do is go to component. So click on component. And if you pull down in properties, there might be a couple things already loaded in here. We've got a chair and a bed, a couple base cabinets, right? Does everybody see that? Let's go and see what other types of furniture we have. So when we were working on doors and windows, where did we go to find more components? Good. So click on Load Family. Same spot as last time. And then this time we want to go to Furniture. So Furniture System is like office furniture. Since we're doing residential, we can just do furniture for now. And this is where you'll see a really big difference in the residential template because even in the commercial template, no, it should still bring it, never mind. It still brings you to this library. So you can see that there's a few different beds here. I know it's not the beds you love, but let's grab this bed shaker and then hit open. And it's really similar to what we did last time. So if you want to flip the bed, just go ahead and hit spacebar. Okay.
I'm catching up. Sorry, what tab is furniture going to be under?
It isn't, it's under component. So if you look next to, like in architecture,
Yeah.
if you look next to like window door, there's something that looks like a
Oh,
box.
okay.
It's called component. I'm going to hide the hole in my floor. And for those of you who have taken CAD and are familiar with these like snap points, you can see that I can still find my midpoint and put that bed right in the center if I wanted to. Okay. Carol, there was a question in there, but it choked.
No, it was, but since we know that we have those clerestory windows, I was wondering if that was what that was. But no, you're right. I'm thinking two-bedroom casino.
Whatever. Yeah, Lindy?
Okay, so when I try to pull my bed in,
Mm-hmm.
when I want to drop it in my floor plan, I
Mhm.
have like a little circle with a line through it and not the bed.
Because you're not clicked on your courtyard level.
Oh.
Thanks, Carol.
I did the same thing.
I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. So I showed you how to place the bed. Go place a couple more things in this room, okay? So it could already be in your component menu. You can go look through the furniture, see what's there, okay? But maybe I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes just to pull some more things into this room. So when we look at our elevations, like even in mine, do you see how now I've got a little bed here that I didn't before? So see what you can do to get some information in here. as you guys are working, let me ask you a question. Based on one of the exercises that we did, if you wanted to move like the view depth of your interior elevation, do you have to move the elevation tag? Like, do you have to physically grab the whole elevation tag like this? Let me try to move it real quick. Let me find that circle. Is that what you have to do to move the actual view? Yeah, you just move the line on the arrow, right? Taylor, do you want me to pause to see if you want to try? So I went ahead and added a few things. We all added the bed. I did a couple of nightstands. And then on the opposite wall, I added a credenza. Yes, there's not a closet in here. This is probably where the closet should go, but that's all right. So you can see, again, just like with a BIM, when I move the credenza in the interior elevation view, it moved out on the floor plan. And similarly, if I move it in the floor plan, it moves it here because it's all connected. So you may not have found like the exact furniture you wanted, but you should still find enough to at least space plan. Would you agree? You can at least get like a good space planning started. Now, I'm not sure on mine, check yours, but on my north and south views, which I believe are these two, my roof and ceiling lines are just fine, right? I can still see the floor, but that's okay. I can crop that out easily. But for whatever reason, on my east and west, are your views as high as mine? No? Take a peek. So it's really easy to fix. Just like our floor plan, if we click on the bounding box, does this look familiar to you guys? Your extents and crop view. So I can just grab this drag point here and pull it down to where my roof is. And I can also fix it so that it stops right at the floor level and not below it. I'm going to do that with all of my plans.
So it should be a ceiling and floor.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the interior corners of the room.
Should we take off the crop region or keep that checked?
Yeah, keep the crop region on. Yep. And on my other views, I'm even going to fix the floor too. The ceiling's okay, but the floor is a little off. Are you guys able to adjust those views okay? Yeah? Good. Now what I'm going to ask you guys to do in just a minute is I want you guys to go to an interior elevation where you can see a section line cutting through. So on mine, it is my east or west. I'm going to have a lot of notes to write on the board today, so I'm going to get my pen ready. But for now, I'm just going to hang out here. So as I mentioned, I kind of mixed things up a little bit this semester. And so we are going to get to something called visibility a little sooner than we've done in the past. But I used to do it really soon, and then I moved it way out, and it was too far out. So I'm going to try it here today. We'll see how visibility goes today. So this is something that you wouldn't have seen on your syllabus. but we're going to address it today. So does everybody see their section line on plan as well as in their elevation? Right? So there will be times where you don't want something to be visible on your floor plan. And so, for example, this section, I don't necessarily need to show this on an interior elevation because I'm not showing any, oh my gosh, construction, right? I'm not showing the actual construction details. So I don't want to delete it because tell me what happens when I delete it, it's already warning me, right? The section is gone. So it's gone here, it's gone on the floor plan, and wherever it was on the sheet, it's also gone, okay? I'm going to bring it back by hitting Control Z. What I can do instead is this next thing that I'm about to show you is how to, there's going to be two things that we answer. How do you turn an element off in just one view? Or how do you turn something off in the whole project? Do you see the difference between the two of them? So for right now, what I'd like to do is do this with me. Click on a single element, preferably your section, and type in the shortcut EH. That stands for element hide. And again, I'm going to write all of these up on the board in just a minute. I'm trying to write on my iPad with my keyboard. So tell me again what EH stands for.
Element hide.
Good. So do you see that now the section is just gone in this view? Right? Let's say for whatever reason, we want to hide all of the sections, not just one. This is really common for dimensions, in fact. Like, I'm pretty sure I hit all of my dimensions. Yeah, that's the part where I was like, ignore what I'm doing. So element hide just has to do with a single element. Let me write that up there.
Okay. Single view?
Um,
Or is it?
Single view and single element,
Okay.
right? So I'm just going to write the word single. And then here I'm going to put like project. So we've got EH for element hide. And then project-wise, we have something called Vivi. Click on Vivi and tell me what it stands for.
You click on the element?
No, just click Vivi.
Oh, I see. Visibility?
And there's a little bit more to it. We'll get you to the other V in just a sec. So it should be visibility and graphic overrides. That's where the other V comes from. Oh, there's a VV. Yep. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to click on VV. And you can see this whole panel comes up. Does everybody see this? Yeah? Okay. Now in here, you can see that there are model categories and annotation categories. Is a section line or a section indicator part of your model, or is it annotation? And it's okay if you don't know the answer, but what do you think your guess would be? Let's raise hands. How many of you guys think it's a model? How many of you think it's an annotation? Okay, so the correct answer would be annotation because it's a note that goes on your plan. Even though that section line models something, it's a note on your plan. So click on over to section or annotation categories. And let's do something to kind of help us see what we're looking at. Under filter list, does yours say show all? Let's change that to just architecture because we're not working with all of this stuff down here. So I clicked on filter list and the only thing checked now is architecture. Are you guys with me? Okay. Now from here, scroll down, keep scrolling, and eventually you should see sections. Not section boxes, but sections. Yeah? Deselect and hit apply. And tell me if your screen looks like my screen. Did it turn all of them off? Okay. I'm going to try this one too. let's also go to window tags. Turn those off. See how I've got 3? Right? Deselect that.
I think I'm not in the right one.
Sorry?
So I have to be in my,
Nope, so Vivi is project-wise. Okay, so let's check one thing. Are you guys hitting apply to do the preview? Let's see if it might be a graphic card thing. So just click on OK and see if it worked then.
now it's saving the project.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so go back to VV, right? And the first one is annotation. Let me ask you, is section checked or unchecked right now? Sections, not section box, but
It's checked again, but I had unchecked it.
okay. Well, iMagic, it's gonna work this time. Just go ahead and deselect it, and then hit apply or OK. It doesn't matter, and see if it gets rid of those section lines. Okay. So on my project, you can see I turned off the dimensions because when I'm trying to show you guys stuff on my screen, it gets messy having all of these dimensions on. So the day where I said ignore what I'm doing, I was quickly hiding all of my dimensions. Now for my AutoCAD people in here, what do you think that this is similar to? It's kind of like freezing your layers, right? Although we don't have that in Revit, this is the closest, that's the closest analogy that I can give you.
Mine are both unchecked, but they're still there.
You know, I would just do what these ladies there did. Just click on OK and then try it again.
And mine still did not disappear on my courtyard view, but then I clicked on my courtyard view, went back through the same things.
And it worked on that view, but
Yeah.
it's still on in your other views as well.
No, they were off there, but on in my courtyard view
Okay.
still.
So I might be mistaken because up there where I have project wise, let me do it this way. I'm gonna write single element. And then this one I will write all elements. How's that? I think that's probably the clarification we need. So we'll do single element. And then I will do all elements in view.
Yeah, my window takes
Mine were all tiled, but I had to go individually to each.
Okay. I updated my notes. It's one of those things where I do it so much that sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just on autopilot. So I hope that note should help you guys though. Okay, so now we know how to control our views a little bit. Now, to bring back our window tags or our section lines, we would just go back to the Vivi menu, right? So go ahead and just type in Vivi again. And let's bring back our, it was section lines, right? And window tags that we turned off? Yep. And I am in the courtyard level. That's where I want them back on. So they did pop up back here. And you guys notice that in my elevation, where I turned off my section, it's still off, right? So give me just 1 second. I cannot remember the shortcut for the life of me right now. KEH. I'm gonna cheat and look at the shortcut. So it's RH or RE, sorry. Okay, it's RH. I'm gonna write that down. RH stands for reveal hidden. Okay, so EH hides it. RH reveals everything that's hidden. So do that on your screen that had the section and tell me about what you see. How did the screen change graphically? It's different than what we've seen before, right? Yeah, so it's hot pink. It means it's activated. And essentially everything that's hidden right now, what color is it? It's pink. What about things that are already activated in the view? Do you see how those kind of get grayed out, right? So this is just showing us the things that were hidden. If we want to bring it back into view, we have to click on the element, and then there's another shortcut for it. Let me remember, not that one. Let me figure out what the shortcut is. Not that. So reveal, hide. I'm gonna try it first. There has to be a shortcut. Okay, it's EU, element unhide. Ooh, it's a mouthful. Okay. EU, element unhide. So let's walk through those again. Okay. First, let me start with the overall in the view, okay? So if you are in your view, let me ask it this way. If you're in your project and you have a whole bunch of dimensions on and you want to turn off all of them, which one would you use, VV or EH? VV, good. So VV will turn off everything, okay, in that view. Now, if I just had 1 or 2 dimensions in a room that I just wanted to element hide, dang it! Okay, so you see the difference between the two? If you just want to do a single or a couple things, what's our shortcut? EH, okay? So in VV, it's easy to get it back, right? We just go back into that menu, and then this time we're checking the box again. But what about if you just hid 1 or 2 things? What's our shortcut then? It's on the board. What was that?
You want them back?
If you want them back, there's a couple shortcuts that we need to get there. RH. First you need to reveal what's hidden, right? So RH, that's where your screen turns hot pink and you can see all of the elements that have been hidden in pink. Now to actually bring it back, what's our last shortcut?
You have to click on it.
EU, yep. So select it and then EU, bring it back, right? Just whatever it is, just bring it back.
Working for me.
I'll help you in just 1 sec. It should be working. Give me 1 sec. So element hide. And as you're going through element hide, you could select more than 1 thing at once. So based on our previous things, how do we select more than 1 thing? Control. Yep, so you can grab like a whole bunch. So let me do this. So Nicole, I'm going to hop out of here. So to get out, just type in RH again, and it'll go back to reveal hidden. All right, so Nicole, what are you trying to do?
I was trying to click on my little view.
The section line, are you trying to bring it back?
Yeah, I
Okay.
Okay, so I did RH, I click on the section, and
Cool.
I hit
Oops.
EU.
Yep, EU, it's right up here. So I'm gonna do that same thing, but I'm a little bit behind, so give me 1 sec. Okay, so in this view, wait, no. Let me hide my section first. I already brought it back. So if I want to hide it, what's my shortcut? Okay, so now it's hidden. I want to see it again. Oh, let me get out of this one, sorry. So in this view, how do I see what's hidden? What's my shortcut? Yep, reveal hidden. Nicole, is your section line like this hot pink color?
It was when I clicked on it.
Okay, good. So you can click on it. To bring it back, what's our shortcut? EU. And you see how it's grayed out? Now it's no longer part of the hidden elements. So that's why it lost that tone.
It's not doing
No? Let me do RH and then come back. So that's what's supposed to happen. Let me pause and come around to see what's going on. Let me start recording again. So, excuse me. There are 2 ways to change the visibility of the stuff on our screen. I'm going through puberty, yes. Okay, we've got EH and we've got VV, right? Both of them work, but here's what happens. If I click on this, I'm doing this 1 more time. If I click on this and type in EH, it's gone. I'm gonna go through all of this. I'm gonna do reveal hidden. I click on it, and I know that if I hit EU for element unhide, that I will see it again. And the reason why I know that, and you guys don't know that, or where I got the shortcut, do you see this button right here? Okay. Do you see that when I hover on it, it tells me the shortcut? Okay. Right now, if yours wasn't working, go through all of that. Do you see how yours is different than mine?
Mine's grayed out.
Okay, and I'm going to show you why in just one sec. Okay, so I'm going to do it one other way. Everybody with me? Let me hit, but actually let me go ahead and bring it back. And then I'm going to get out of this mode. Yes. Wait, no. Shh. Carol, no. Not yet. Okay. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go to Vivi. And under annotation, we're going to go to section. I'm going to turn it off this way. Are you guys still with me? So I'm doing the same thing, but I'm kind of being dramatic. Like I'm going to all of Vivi to turn off one section line. Okay? So far that's the only thing that's different. But when I go to reveal hidden, remember when I clicked on it a minute ago, it said unhide element? What does it say now? Yeah, so it's a new shortcut that I love. I did not have this before. So this, in case this isn't confusing enough, so I'm going to go unhide category. I'm going to change this from unhide category to VV unhide. That's how I'm going to remember this. Okay? So just slightly different. But I do like that option. Before, these two menus work completely independently of one another, but I like that they've recognized that there is some kind of cross between them.
So, why you the shortcut for that?
No, sorry, that's a V. VU.
Okay,
There we go.
I must have done something wrong because my unhide element and unhide category are gray.
So with mine, I had to click on something before it came back up. Or the other thing that could be happening is that make sure that there's something that's like even off for you to bring back. Or does it get grayed out when you select it?
No, I think I figured it out. I think it doesn't like it when you hit the circle.
Okay, that too. You're welcome. So does that help you bring them back? So now we've learned a new thing. I've learned a new thing today, that if we don't want to go to VV to bring something back, I don't know why you'd go the long way, but you can go the long way. You may have forgotten how you turned it on or off. Change the visibility. Okay. All right. So let's do this. This is going to be really fresh, but this is something that you will use for the rest of the semester, just kind of toggling things back and forth. So what I'd like to do now is let's go ahead and on our floor, no, let's leave those on, sorry. Let's turn off our dimensions for today on our floor plan using Vivi. Okay, let's kind of scooch those out of the way if you have dimensions on. Carol?
May I ask a question? After you have brought it back,
Mm-hmm.
that pink box is still locked on
Yeah.
the screen?
Go back to reveal hidden. Yep, that'll toggle you in and out of that view.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
And really, if you want, do you see this light bulb down here? It does the same thing.
Oh,
So you can click on the light bulb and then unclick on the light bulb. I have a really hard time seeing tiny things like this. So light bulb, and even up here at the top, you can click out of here. There's 3 ways of doing the same thing. So light bulb, and then light bulb to turn it off, or light bulb to turn it off, and then X out in the upper right, or just RH, and then RH. It all does the same thing. You're welcome. Okay, so I just turned off all of my dimensions in my floor plan using Vivi. And then I think what I'd like to do next is I'm going to skip the bathroom for now, and we're going to hop into the living room. But before we put in a sofa, go ahead and meet me back at our discussion page. And we're going to go to a website called B&B Italia. I'm going to text one of my students real quick. Her name is Riley.
Sorry, the page you're looking cannot be found.
Oh, really? Okay. We'll still get there. That's fine. So that particular product is probably gone. But click on products for me, just right above where that link was. And I'm going to go ahead and start recording again. So let me preface all of this by saying you guys do not get to freak out if something doesn't work with any of these sites. This crap is free. We get what we get and we don't complain. What is that saying that parents say?
Don't throw a fit.
There we go. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. If you can't find exactly what you want, let it go. Move on. We do not get paid enough to have all of the furniture be spec'd exactly like what's going in the house. That's not our job. We aren't like modelers or renderers. We are interior designers who are trying to do some basic space planning, and we'll try to make that stuff look really nice, okay? We're going to try our best. So with that, one thing you will find is on any website that I'm about to show you, sometimes they have a BIM model, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have a really good BIM model, sometimes they don't, okay? Let's just start. When I clicked on products, do you guys have this Aura A, I'm not sure, that first one on the top row? Let's all click on that, and let's see if it has the Revit file for us. So underneath the sofa, do you see where it says Dimensions and CAD? Okay, click on that for me. And this isn't very intuitive, but this is showing you the different types of sofas that come in this line. Do you guys see that? So you can grab all of them. I'm just going to grab this 290 right here. So I'm going to click on Select, and then Download, and now a new menu is going to pop up that says, what do you want to download? Okay, not yet. One more menu? Okay. I wish this would come up sooner. This is so disappointing. Is there a Revit file? And you know we have one because it has a check. No. Bummer. Okay. Do we throw a fit? No. We're a little bummed. We're kind of annoyed. But click around on this page right here and try to find a sofa that has a Revit file. And again, I wish the interface was nicer, but it isn't. I'm going to do this. No.
Which one?
Woohoo!
It actually legit looks like it.
I found one, but I don't know which one it was. I was just clicking on everything.
You're on the Michael Club.
Oh, there you go. Sofa, Michael Club. That's the one I'm on. And I'm going to wait here because if you haven't downloaded before, I'm one of those fools. I basically just hit yes on everything and just pray it'll all work out. That usually works for me. Some people are not comfortable with that. So I'm going to pretend I really know what I'm doing and just go from here. Okay. Raise your hand if you still need to find a Revit file. Okay. Lindy, you found edamame. Why'd you click off of it? Come on, man.
I wasn't pulling up Michael Club, but now I got it.
Okay. So what you want to do after that is click on Confirm and Proceed. Nope, I think I did that wrong. I don't know. We'll find out. And you should get a zip file.
I have file format options, low resolution, high, probably high, right? Oh, it says
I don't think you clicked on the Revit file. I think you clicked on Images.
oh.
But when you click on the in the bottom right where the download was, it should open something called an RFA. And that stands for Revit Family. The sofa is part of a family. And just double click to open on it. And this was made way back in 2014, so we're going to upgrade the model. I'm still clicking yes and OK. Tara, where are you going? So are you in Chrome, or what did you use to download? So it should come up automatically on the upper or lower left.
It did, and I clicked on it,
And then it went. Here's a cool shortcut. So if you're in Chrome on a PC, not on a Mac, hit Control J in any browser, and all of your downloads pop up.
oh, that's the one I'm looking for. Thank you.
I picked a piece of Michael one that doesn't have a Revit.
Well, you picked a piece of you know what.
I'll try different one.
Okay, bear with me for 1 sec. Take a look at my screen. Do you guys see I have a sofa? Just quick, just out of curiosity, how many of you guys have a sofa in Revit? Okay, so a good majority of you do. The last step of this, do you see where it says load into project and close? That's our last step. So load it into your project and it will close this file. And I happen to be in my courtyard level, and Revit likes that. Like, it can put it in a floor plan. If you are in a view where it can't put it in, what you can do is just hit exit. But if you go to architecture component, you should see that sofa waiting for you there. Alright, so with that, let me come back here to my discussion. Where did that go? Okay, there are many websites here for you guys to check out, right? I'm not going to go through all of them because it will be overwhelming, and there's a lot of stuff that you can find on your own too. But let's go over like just kind of rules of thumb. When you find something on a website, like I just found this Alex drawer, right? What do I need to do on this page? What's a word that's sticking out? Download, good. So this says object. I have no idea what that means. Let's click on it. Do I have a Revit option here?
Yes.
Good. So I click on the RFA. What does RFA stand for? Revit Family. Okay. Download. It wants me to log in, of course. I think I already have a Google account with these guys. Right, let me do this one right here. And I just noticed you can use your Autodesk account. I know my Google account more than I know my Autodesk account, so I'm just going to stick with Google. Tara, go ahead and upgrade the model. It was made in 2014, so you want it to be the latest version. And then the last thing, load into project and close. Okay. Okay. And I think once you get it downloaded, some sites will have a file. See how this one does a zip folder? Let's say I lose the zip folder, so I'm going to hit the X. How can I easily find that download if I'm on a PC? Everybody in here's on a PC. Do you remember the short? Lindy, you can't tell us because I told you. No, wait, I told Tara? I told Tara. Okay, I won't, Tara can't tell. Did you guys hear what the shortcut was? It's Control plus J. And it brings up all of your downloads. So you can click on Show in Folder. And then from here, I just double click into the folder. I have an extra one here. Okay, and again, we're not freaking out. What is this? There's all these cut sheets in here. Nice. So if your client wants a cut sheet, there you go. Yeah. All of these sites are different. They are all free, so we can't complain. What's my last step when I get to this screen?
Load the project.
Yep, load into project and close. The reason why we want to close it is we don't need that file open anymore once we get it in here. Okay, So those are some resources on how you can go and find BIM objects and download them into your project. Now, I don't ever expect you guys to do that. Whatever's in Revit is good enough for me, you know, so if you want to keep it simple, please do. But for most people, that's just not it. And one thing I'd suggest is maybe you can find simple generic things to kind of replace what Revit has. You know, you might find some sofas and tables that might better represent your project. That's not like a shaker table or something like that. So all of this helps us kind of build up for our assignment, okay? So let me read you some of these instructions. So here, master interior elevations, space planning elements placed professionally, views placed neatly and legibly on sheet. Okay? So there's kind of two parts to that. First, space planning elements placed professionally. Does that say go get a whole bunch of custom stuff? No, it just means that I want a nicely space planned room so that it's easy to read. And then the views, when I look at it, I want them to be placed nicely on the sheet. So let me show you what I mean by that. So see, I'm kind of skipping to the next part because all of these are basically the same. Do you guys know how to do the first part, space planning elements? Okay. Do you know how to do it within Revit? What was the menu of that shortcut to get us into space planning elements? Is it furniture? Component. Good. So component is where we look. You've looked through the components, you don't see anything you like. Where can you download more? Not load more, download more. Where would you guys look?
That are provided in discussion.
Yeah, so go under discussions, they're all there. You can also go onto Google and see if you can find another resource to add to the list. Okay? Free is always best. Now coming back into Revit, our interior elevation sheets should be in the assignment. Let me make sure. They are the I-400s, which are some of your enlarged plans. Yep. The 500s are details, but we want the I-400s. So coming back to my Revit menu, I'm going to close out all of my views so I can just open up the sheet. So the sheet is A13. And let me do this. Let's do this one last thing and then we can take a break and you guys can have the rest of the time to work. I'll call it after this. So I'm going to meet you guys in A13.
What if I don't have an A13 for some reason?
I don't know.
Use it for, I might have used it for something.
Oh. But yeah, you can create a new sheet or look down here at the bottom. See if it's hidden there. But if you wanted to create a new sheet, we haven't gone over this yet, you would just, do you see where it says Sheets All? Mm-hmm. Right click there and go to New Sheet. And I believe this is the 22 by 34 horizontal. Do you see how you get to pick a title block? Okay. But once I'm in interior elevations, I haven't even changed the name of the sheet yet. Where do I need to go to start dragging the views here? Yeah, so a little bit higher in my project browser. And do you guys see? I'm so blind. I should have interior. Here we go. Thank you. Elevations, interior elevations. So I'm going to hit the plus sign. And now to place it, I just drag and drop. But before I go too far, take a look at the assignment. Is it here? Sorry, I think I have them on your main assignment and not here. Let me add this here. So your views are considered enlarged plans. I'm reading through this. Where should I put this? Sit down on the grading requirements. Yep. So coming back to Revit, I could easily grab this and change the scale to 1/2 inch, right? Or I could just delete it, and then when I click on it to drag in, do you see that just by clicking on it, it activates the view scale that I'll be coming in at? So that might be a good thing to check. Click on your view. I've already changed this to 1/2 inch, so it remembered. And then when I drag and drop it, I don't have to worry about moving like the view title and all of that other stuff. Oops. So I click on the view, I'm going to change the scale, and then drag it in. And the thing that's nice, do you see how Revit gives me a dashed line when the walls line up? I really like that. And you can also, I want the walls lined up. I want the title blocks lined up. This is what I mean by professional and legible. At the end of the day, this will be what represents you and your project. You won't be there at every meeting with your client or with your contractors, so you want your drawings to look professional. So do you see now? I just quickly tiled my windows. Do you see how it named where the view is and on what sheet? So it's telling me it's on A13, and this is view 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and simple. Now on this, what's a better name I can give this instead of elevation-1A? I could call it, master bedroom A. Are these all A, B? Yeah, I could call it master bedroom A. I could call it master bedroom north. It's not letting me, but I know where to change it.
Should we, for this purposes, may we assume that up is north?
Mm-hmm. Yep, on all of the projects we do in here, up will be north. Yep. Let me make sure this works.
If you were doing number 1 as north, I was concerned about.
Yeah, this one will be east. Okay, this one's a little bit different. Take a look at my screen real quick. Typically, if you want to change the name of something, you click on it once and then you click on it again. But see how on mine it's just like, nope, I'm not going to change it. What you need to do in this case is change the name in the Properties menu. So if you scroll down on the Properties, eventually you'll see View Name. And that's where I went in to change it. Okay. And again, I did that by clicking on the view, scroll down, View Name. Oops. Make sure to highlight it first. And you could just call it master, maybe not even master bedroom. And it helps me having both screens open so I have references to what view I'm looking at. Just make sure you're consistent. So if you call one master bedroom, call all of them master bedroom. If you call one of them master, call all of them master. I'm just checking at your 2-bedroom. Okay, so on this one, I did include the note about it being scaled at 1/2 inch. I missed it on the exercise, but it's in there now. So going over the assignment and the exercise again, we know how to add all of these space planning elements. But what we haven't done yet is how to do the drafting method in the master bath. We'll do that on Thursday, okay? And notice that here I don't have the kitchen listed. So let's not do the kitchen yet. I'm gonna wait on that. Let me check your homework, bathroom, bedroom, laundry, kitchen. So let me take the kitchen out for now too. Yeah, I'm gonna take that out just for now. Okay, so the rest of the time is yours. So you guys can keep going on this exercise. You can go find more furniture components to download. You can use what's already in Revit. It's totally up to you. But I have a list of the rooms for the exercise here. So the laundry, living B. Oh wait, do you see it? This might not make sense to you since we just started this today. So in living area A, do you see how I have A and B? Taking a look at the plan, bless you, why do you think I'd break that up into two views? It's a really long room, right? So if this is the actual living area, this could be like an office or a dining room. So, is this the kitchen? Oh, okay, well there you go. Even more, this is such a tiny plan, I didn't know I could fit a kitchen in there. So I'm being lazy, but in fact I'm making it too complicated. I'm going to create similar. So if I wanted to do an interior elevation without showing the kitchen, how do I fix this? Yeah, see I can drag this down. You can drag, there should be a doorway here. I got rid of my opening, I don't know why. I can do it before the opening or after the opening. But that allows you to take two interior elevation markers without being redundant on the information. So, and again, the reason why I showed you that is here, living area A and living area B.
So what are the two different living areas if we don't do the kitchen?
So for now, if you want, you could make that a dining room, and then eventually we'll put a kitchen in there. Okay? Bless you. Let me review one more time. This should be more than enough to get you guys started. Okay? So if you need